So for this one, um, the way I'm going to explain it is hopefully regardless of whether or not you've exported it in Maxwell or Lumion or anything else. What you're going to see for the final is that I'm asking you for very specific types of renders. I don't want to see colorized renders like this. Even though we materialized it to have mostly just white surfaces and we're not showing colored materials like wood panels or anything like that. The problem with this one is that the landscape behind is distracting, right? The fact that it looks like hills with green and it pulls our attention too far away from the building. So what we're going to do is basically just play around with a few simple filters. If I go to Image Adjustments and I click on Black and White, this is how I can see just black and white. Okay, so that's really important. You can change a few things about it, but I don't really want you to worry too much. You can tint it like this, which is sort of getting in the realm of what's called a sepia image. I'll show you that real quick. They sort of have this classic, sort of warm golden feel to them. Okay, so that's a stylistic approach. That's an interesting one because it's sort of celestial. All right, so with that, another thing I just wanted to kind of get you to understand is that you can go through and play around with different filters to either reduce certain light regions of the image, or you can take out some of the black areas. You can reduce some of the white areas and just make it more monolithic. You can filter by color specifically, but one of the things that I wanted to show you here is just leave it on auto. All right, hang on. I think I screwed something up. Just a moment. All right, you guys ready? Sorry. I needed to create a new sample image because the green wasn't really popping enough for me to show you this part. But what I wanted to show you was how exactly you select a particular color and then make everything else black and white. So there are going to be the three requirements that that you're going to have is you could either use one accent color, you can use a photo filter, something like a sepia, or you can use strict black and white. They're the only types of images that you can present for the final. But what you're going to do here is this. I think this needs to be rasterized, so I'm going to rasterize it anyway. Layer, rasterize, layer. Okay. So this image came in different. What's up with this image? There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So the way we're going to do this is you need to select a particular color range in the image. So I'm going to go to Select Color Range, and this is going to allow us to, and you're going to want to change the fuzziness a little bit, but you can select a color range using the eyedropper right here. So I can grab my red color like that, and then just set the fuzziness to what I particularly need. When I hit OK, it selects everything in that range to a certain degree. I think that's probably too much, but we'll try it anyway. So let's see, right-click and select Inverse. I think that's what we want to do here because we don't want to reduce the red. And then we're going to go to Image Adjustments, Black and White. You know what? It did it all in gradients. Hang on. Just a moment. All right, sorry. The thing I was missing is you actually kind of need two layers for this. So let's go to the layer that you drop in, and we're gonna duplicate that layer. Okay. So one of them is going to be black and white, like pure black and white. So I'll go to Image, Adjustments. I'm going to make this one black and white. Okay. The other thing is the image. The image below. We can select the color that we want. So I'm going to go to select color range, add the red color, and I'm going to make my fuzziness be a lot smaller on this one, something like 20. Okay. And then I'm going to select the inverse, and then I'm referencing back to my notes here. Yeah, I think our color range is still a little screwy. It's not really what I wanted. I got rid of the wrong side. Hang on, guys. This isn't coming out the way I wanted. All right, guys, I'm going to bring your attention back in. So I don't know what just happened. It's acting differently now, but when I go to color range, I must have accidentally changed a setting here somehow. But what you want is, you see the, and this is kind of what was screwing me up, but you see the differences in sort of the black region to the white region here. Like there's a pretty strict delineation between black area and white area, right? So what that means is that it's selecting a less, like see how it's now selecting a grayscale? So that's going to create you know, deletions in areas that you don't want to create deletions. So you want to pick a fuzziness that's going to select the color that you're looking for more specifically. Does that make sense? So I think maybe the problem was using the additive eyedropper rather than just the singular eyedropper. It depends. It depends on how much contrast you have between that color and the colors that you want to keep in the image. But anyway, this is going to work fine for us right here. But I'm just going to hit OK. I'm not going to worry about that whole inverse thing. And I'm going to go back up to my black and white layer, and I'm just going to delete that out of that layer. Okay. So that's a very, very simple way of doing that. Does that make sense? Now, is it perfect? No. You're gonna have to kind of balance it out a little bit. If you get really close into the image, you'll notice that it sort of falls off the edge there a little bit, and I'll need to clean that up. Obviously, the higher resolution you create the image, like this one is not a very high resolution image, but the better that's going to be. Okay. So that is our third option. Okay. Does that make sense? I was overcomplicating it, trying to do it a special way. But do you get it? More or less?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. You get it? All right. Cool. So I think I gave you enough Photoshop filters for us to start to get into the final. But we're going to switch gears here today and start to, well, I'm going to explain the final. And then you guys are going to start brainstorming and diagramming. Okay, but I'll give you a break before I explain that, because it's been like a solid hour of lecture on stuff that you're not even doing at your desk. So let's take 10 minutes, and then we'll get back here at 5 after, and then we'll get going.